Hello, welcome to Ready to Stamp. I'm Donna, your creativity specialist with Stampin' Up, where I help people tap into their creativity one rubber stamp, ink, and cardstock at a time. Today is Technique Tuesday, where I teach you a stamping technique to create oohs and ahs from your recipients. Here are the cards that the technique that we're going to do, called the Bokeh Technique. Are you ready to stamp? Okay, so again, I said we were going to do this type of a card. It is called the Bokeh Technique. And you might, if you're a photographer, you might have heard this mentioned there, because it is a photography technique where you have the focal point in the front, and then things in the back are blurry, and a lot of times it's used with lights. So what we're going to start with is we're going to use my block E for my clear blocks, and just moving some things out of the way so I have room. And I'm going to use two different colors. Daffodil Delight, actually three. Daffodil Delight, I'm going to put a little bit of my re-inker here on the clear block. And here's some rose red. And here's some tempting turquoise. Okay. Now what you're also going to need is, let me move these out of the way, our aqua painters. It comes with a barrel, and you're going to fill it up with water. And then as you use it, you squeeze it and you get some water out of it. See that? First thing you want to do is you want to take your watercolor paper, and as it gets wet, it's going to kind of bubble up in the middle. A little extra water here, so. Okay, see how it does that? All right, when you receive, or when you order your watercolor paper, this is how it comes, in a sheet that looks like this. Okay, and so I just cut mine down to 4 by 5 1/4. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take our, I like to have some paper towel in my hand. I'm going to start with the lightest color, just because I'm in the habit of doing that. So all you're going to do is just basically squeeze it and tap it against the watercolor paper. And did you see how it kind of spread out a little bit there? Kind of cool, huh? Then you're going to clean it off. You don't want any more yellow. So then I'm going to take my rose red, and I'm going to do the same thing. And you'll see how it just kind of runs. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I got two different colors. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so we're going to do that. Push that up there. Okay, now we're going to get the red out here. Now we're going to do tempting turquoise. Okay, now watch what happens. This is just too cool. A little much water there, so we're going to put that there like so. Do you see how it changes colors? Isn't that the coolest thing? I just love this. Okay, I'm going to add some over here, because I wanted to add a little bit of purple in there and get some green. Okay, now clean this off so that when the next time I'm ready to use it, we're going to have clean aqua painters. And all I'm doing to clean it is I'm holding it and then I'm squeezing some water through. That'll push the paint out of it. Okay? All right. Now we're going to just, you see some pooling at the end. So we're just going to touch it to the paper towel. And yes, it is a little bit messy. So I'm going to use my heat tool. It's what I use for my embossing. And as I'm heating it, watch it, because as it dries, it'll flatten out. It's kind of cool. Okay, now it's dry. So our next part of this technique is I took a piece of window sheet. Actually, it came out of the photopolymer set that I purchased, and it had 2 sheets in it, and I only used one, and someday I'll show you that, how I store my photopolymers, but this is just one of them, and I used the circle thinlits to make the frame, the circles on here. So now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to place it over top. And I have a sponge dauber. And what we're going to do is just sponge daub this all over my card where the circles are. Okay, so you lift it up, turn it around, and I'm going to overlap some. You'll see that I've done that here. So for this one, your heat tool is a great tool, because I'm like really impatient. I want to get this done because it's so cool. I want to see the end result. So I might put one more. Whoop. I'll put one right there, just to give a, just looked a little bare right there. Yeah, much better. Okay. So I'm going to use our heat tool again to kind of dry up the white. Okay, so with this, I'm going to take my Memento and my watercolor Thank You. This is my watercolor Thank You. I'm going to take that and open it, and I'm going to use my Memento ink. Make sure it's inked up really well, and I'm just going to place it in the center. Hold it down for a couple of seconds so that it will grab a hold of the ink and it'll transfer well. And there you have it. I don't stick my elbow in it. There you have it. Now I'm not going to finish this card. I'm going to show you the other ones that we had here. Here is one done with Tempting Turquoise and Daffodil Delight. Here is one done with Melon Mambo and Tempting Turquoise. Do you see the purple that's in there? That's kind of cool, isn't it? And then here's one done with Melon Mambo and Daffodil Delight. And it's got a few spots of orange, and I just used those colors. And you know how colors mix? Well, that's exactly what that did. Well, I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned something. And let me know, let me see some of your creations using the Bokeh technique. You can go ahead and post it at the in the bottom here at the underneath the video in the comments section. And thanks for stopping by. Happy creating.